Take a moment to find your center, to establish your center in your spine, in your breath, at the deep level of your mind, beneath the surface of the waves and thoughts. Come back home, come back to center. Open your shoulders, your heart, relax your arms, your hands, and breathe smoothly and gently. Sweet breath, subtle breath. Starting to relax this inner vibration, inner rhythm. Pay attention to this inner rhythm, like a kind of pressure or tension, and soften. Soften with your breath, with your heart, with your mind. We'd start chanting Om together one time. Inhale deeply. Be still. Be still for no reason, without trying to do it right. Be still means take a break. Stop all the habitual movements and chasing after different things in your mind or outside with your eyes and ears and nose. For a moment, stop. Drop everything. All the stories, all the goals, the past, the future. Forget yourself, forget your name, forget your body, forget your country. Just for a moment, just 1 second. To be free. To be present. The mind is always in the past. Mind can never be present. Like a sportscaster, the sports announcer. The sports announcer is watching the game, then sees it, thinks, and talks about it. By the time it talks, it's already gone. It's no longer the present moment. It's already the past. So the mind is not in the present moment. Mind is sitting on the sideline and commenting on life. There's a difference between living life and talking about life, showing life, like Instagram. We have our own narrative in our mind, but this is not the present moment. Present moment is unknowable. By the time we know it, it's already the past. So that which is present can't be known. So the mind, we must relax the mind in order to be present. These great moments of presence, like when making love, or when playing a sport, or when climbing the mountain, like these moments, there's no thinking. There's no idea of time, of the past, of how long, of no hunger, no sleep, no tiredness. These radical moments of presence are beyond time, outside of time, and outside of the mind. And so, we can train the mechanics of being present. The same way you can train to play golf. Now, what's required? If you want to play golf, you want to hit the golf ball properly, then what's required? There's several things required. One, proper posture, proper breathing, proper hand position, and proper focus. So, proper attention where the eyes are pointed. So we have the our attention, and then the focus. So, same with tennis. If you want to learn to play tennis well, you have to learn proper position, how to hold your body, how to hold your hand, the hand racket position, how to breathe, right? How to focus, where to focus. And if you do like this, if you practice again and again, you can get good at tennis. You can get good at playing golf. Anyone can, really, for sure. If you do the practice, regular practice, even if you're not good at all, you'll improve vastly through the practice in these basic foundations of. And so if we apply this to being present, we have to train the body position. Body position means the spine is straight and the energy is contained. The legs are also contained. We're not like twisted and hunched and flopping around. But part is the spine. The other part is the stillness. The stillness is important. Same with when golfing or when playing tennis. When waiting, there's a stillness, but the stillness is not forced. It's not a tense stillness. It's this quality of stira and sukha. Stable, to be stable, but relaxed. Not tense. Not tense. To be both stable and relaxed in your spine, in your breath, in your focus, in your hands. So hands. So first is the spine, the posture. Right? The legs can be in different positions, but energy should be contained. So whether you're in a chair or with your legs crossed or on your knees. Second is breath. Breath is the most important. Everything is a breath. Really, the breath is what is influencing our thoughts and emotions. If we can filter our breathing, clean the breath is not just coming in and out the nose, but around us we have this field of electromagnetic, like a pressure, like a light bulb is shining not just inside, but it goes out. So we have around us this ball of emotions and thoughts and energy and light. And so our thoughts and emotions don't just disappear into nowhere, but we're swimming in them. All the residue from our habitual thoughts and emotions stay around us as these kind of like clouds or like little waves. And so we're circulating them through our breathing, all these emotions and thoughts that are stuck. And so we can, like you comb through your hair to make your hair smooth, we can comb through our nervous system and this subtle breath, the breath field around us, prana field, to make very beautiful, very luminous, very smooth. And so the breathing is essential. By training the breath and balancing the breath, then automatically we can enter into that state of presence. So number 2 is the breath. Number 1 is the posture. And we can train the posture. We have unconscious habits with how we're holding our body. The animals don't do like this. The animals are very relaxed or they're very focused. So that's why we have to retrain our body awareness. Then the breath. Number 3 is the hands. So the hands are very important. We don't really take this into consideration, but if we consider our body like an antenna, then it splits into these 2, and the 2 split into 5. And so we have these 10 on the left, right and left. And by touching the different fingers together, this is what's called the science of mudra. This is like a yoga posture, but just happening in your hands. The whole posture, what's usually happening in the whole body, now is just through the hands. Because in the fingers we have the elements, fire, air, space, earth, water. And we have the elements in the fingers and the planets and the organs and all of the nadis. All of the channels can be unlocked through the hands. And so there are some basic mudras, like this one's called prana mudra, where you take your index finger and ring finger totally straight, and then you touch your thumb to the tips of the small fingers. Right, this one you can hold all the time, even when walking. Right, and this is stimulating the brain in a good way. Right? One that people know commonly is this chin mudra, touching the air and the fire, the ego. And it depends on where you place the thumb as to whether the fire is increasing or decreasing or tuning. But this other common one where you touch the thumb to the tip of the index finger, and then the other 3 fingers stay straight. So you can hold these postures. Another common one that can be easily done is the thumb to the middle fingers. This is Apana Mudra for the downward moving current. So when you have indigestion problems or constipation, then this one can help to balance as well. So this is the prana for downward moving current, apana, and this one is prana for the upward moving current. And generally it's recommended to hold at least 15-20 minutes. To be effective, because it takes a while for the energy to spin. It's not like you flick on the light switch and it turns on. It takes time to stimulate the flow of the prana in the different channels. But by controlling our hands, also a simple one, just palms down, palms up, or fingers interlaced, or with the index fingers out. All of these, even just the hands together, fingers touching, right? All of these help to work with your brain and nervous system, and you're able to shift into different rhythm. So posture, breath, the hands, then the focus. So we talk about this one-pointed inner focus. So either the attention at the center of your brain or at the center of your heart. There's a kind of black hole. The black hole is where the energy is still undifferentiated. We have the infinite power of the universe contained, and then from that, at the center of every being, every creature, every molecule, everything is this, like here we have, Alex Gray has shown this in the second level, and then like this. And so at the center of this toroid is like a black hole. This is what they're also, the energy they're working with in the temples. And so in the meditation state, we retract our awareness back into that seed that can be reached at the heart center or the center of the brain. Both of these are connected. And so and then with your eyes closed and looking up. So the attention can be at the heart or can be at the center of the brain, but still the eyes are turned upwards because the attention follows the eyes. Whatever you're looking at, your energy is going there. You're looking at some food you want to eat, or a beautiful person or ugly person, or whatever that you want. Wherever the eyes are going, then the attention's going, the desire is going, the energy is going, the prana is going, everything's following the eyes. So when we turn the eyes up, then what happens is energy is directed up towards the brain, and it starts to hit the pineal gland. And it's what's this called milking the glands. Now the alchemy of yoga is very much working with the biochemistry, also in the postures as well. No, this is working with the subtle energy in the body, these what's called rasas, or different fluids and liquids. And so if we train all these 5, the same like you pick up the golf club and swing. I've never played golf. I've played miniature golf. I played tennis growing up, and I learned that if you play for hours and hours, after some months, then you're able to flow, get into a state of flow. And so in the same way, if we train the foundation of posture, breath, focus, hands, it's part of posture, then we can get into a flow state in our daily life, in our interactions, in our work, in our play, in our relationships with our children and our family. We can be in a state of flow instead of caught in this calculation, constantly calculating and trying to predict and control. Right? This is the control approach, that every moment we have to continually observe and adjust and make a plan. But the other approach is we train ourselves to a very high level, and then in the moment there's no planning. It's just in the flow. You can just flow. And we see that in sports. That's really how the great sports players are playing, is through, repetitive training. Then in the moment, in the game, it's not needed. You can't think. There's no time to think, right? And so we take the same approach. Like a musician or a dancer, anyone, they're doing the training, regular repetitive training, so that at the time of the game or the performance, right, then it's like a kind of effortless mastery. And so we're just applying that same basic principles in relation to being ourselves, to being myself, to being present. To be myself means to be present. It doesn't mean to be an idea about someone who acts like this or should have this or know this or do that. It's important to understand that yourself is not your idea of yourself. Your idea of yourself is something else other than yourself. Yourself is alive and infinite and growing and has infinite dimensions, infinite layers. But the idea of yourself is some stuck story in the past, usually based on not good enough. And so to be yourself means not to be the person in the future, the ideal self that we're dreaming in the future. This one is impossible. We're setting ourselves against an impossible comparison. So to be yourself is simply, by not thinking, then automatically life is being itself. The same way that the banana is being itself, the river, the mouse, the grasshopper, the dragonfly, and life is being itself. Also, your liver is being itself. No question about it. Your cells, your blood is being itself. So this is what we call the natural way. Of course, 100 years ago, it was almost impossible not to be ourselves. We weren't so distracted. We didn't have electricity and the constant seeing infinite people and trying to get somewhere, always going, but never arriving. Before, we were very much at home in a natural rhythm. We lived in one place, and we didn't go that far from there. We would. Now life is fragmented in 1,000 places. Live here, work here, eat here, have fun here, families here. Everything is split. And so we develop these split personalities that evolve in different conditions, under different contexts. And now there's no center, no home, no possibility of integration. It's very difficult in the modern society. Also, the way that we're raised and the schooling, everything is very, lots of pressure. So this is why it's important to take time each day to integrate, to tune, to remember that wholeness, not thinking about it. That's the thing, you can't know yourself by thinking about yourself. It's an experience, it's the aliveness, it's the expression. You can be yourself, yourself is an expression of yourself. And you are everything, not one particular interpretation. And so the mind can only have one interpretation. So then we get stuck in the idea of who we're supposed to be, or what we have to be, or who everyone else wants us to be. And then we internalize it, and so that's why we say to be yourself means no thoughts, not thinking. It's not reaching the goal. But it's simply in being present. In being present, automatically you're yourself. Then you can't not be yourself. You cannot be yourself when you're present. Okay, questions. Number 1. Is there such a thing as generational karma? And what does it mean? So, the story is that all of us, before we became human, we were born long time ago as the gases and minerals, and then like bacteria, and then work our way through all the species. So every individualized soul, you have this one light, one fire, and then the spark jumps off the fire. That spark is the same like the fire, but it's a little spark. And that spark has to go through all these experiences of all the different plants in the plant kingdom and the different amphibians and small mammals, everything, before reaching human birth. So already all of this, and each time it's born, different things is doing and are happening, and it creates this winding, like this a thread, winding all these stories, all these layers. All this energy gets wrapped up, coiled up, and then finally makes the human birth. They're saying that before reaching a birth like this, where we're even questioning the nature of existence, is at least 50,000 human births, right? After all of the births through all the species of all the kingdoms, then reaching human, it's already, before one is even questioning this kind of thing, you know, tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of human births. So through all of these births, still, we're, everything is winding and winding, not only as an individual, but as a collective. So we have, of course, within the family lineage, like this ancestors, but also within the collective human, we have the karma from the collective, from our society, from everything, from everywhere, really. There's no separation. And so all of that creates this kind of like, not a puzzle, but it's like a kind of like a string that's wound up tight. And so only in the human birth can we start the unwinding process. Really, all the time we're winding, unwinding. But this, to really be able to unwind that, to release that, and the karma is stored like in the joints. It's stored also in the physical body, in the blood, in the joints. And so by purifying this is why this path, all these practices I'm calling tuning, are also purification or cleansing practice. Like filtering. You have a dirty water, you filter it, it becomes pure. In the same way, our minds are filled with the dirty water. We filter, we have a pure mind. Also our heart are so many stuck emotions and expectations, everything. But if we clean and filter it, then it's the pure essence. That pure essence is always there. And so that's why the yogis recommend to take time each day, not just clean your teeth, not just clean your clothes, not just wash your skin with the soap, but to clean your body, heart, and mind, to clean your cells, your organs, your glands, to charge, to awaken, to nourish your biology, and especially your heart and mind. We have to clean our hearts. Every day, so many negative thoughts and tension and emotions and reactions and desires and expectations and all of this, like a storm, every day, all day. And so if we don't take time to clean, to clear that, to release that, then it becomes like a problem. And so for sure, it's important that we wash our clothes. We wouldn't walk around like that with dirty, stinky clothes. We wouldn't walk around with stinky teeth, but we shouldn't walk around with stinky mind and a stinky heart. So we don't need to, also this concept of karma, we don't need to become like obsessed with the past life or my karma, what about my karma, or where is his karma, or whatever. No, the key is you just tune yourself, then you feel in tune, then that's enough. Life knows what to do. We don't know what to do. We can't beat our hearts. We can't digest the food. We don't know anything. But life knows everything. The seed knows. The plant is growing each moment perfectly. The flower is blossoming, the fruit is growing. Life is perfect. Life is a super intelligence. Every cell knows what to do. The blood knows what the organs know what to do. Life knows what to do. So this is why we're tuning ourselves, and then we surrender, and then let the creative expression, the creative urge of life will guide us. This is the inner wisdom. So it's not through thinking and planning. Of course, we want to, we can train our minds, but the deeper knowing, the deeper intelligence, deeper wisdom is not like a bucket of information and just swimming in information, but is through a deeper embodiment and stillness and openness, then we can tap into that inner wisdom. In the meantime, we have to deal with all kinds of karma, all kinds of trouble, all kinds of inconveniences. What do you think happens after death? We forget our lives and are reborn in another body. Say is that why are we worried about what will happen later when we can't even deal with what's happening now? right? We're always looking for a distraction or an excuse to do something else other than deal with what is, right? And so if we can be present with what is, then we'll be present with whatever is later too. It would seem, however, that the agreement is that it's many lifetimes, it's not one lifetime. Even the teachers who are teaching the theory of one life would teach the reincarnation as well. It was just a technique to get people to be more motivated, right? Otherwise you can become lazy and say, oh, wait for next time, not a big deal. And so these are what you call upaya. Upaya means the teaching technique. The teachers have to set up a kind of situation in order to kind of wake up the students. And so it's not important whichever one it is, because whichever it is, it is. And it doesn't matter what we think about it or what we say about it. That's true of everything. But if it's useful, then we think, okay, one lifetime, then let's do it. Let's make it count. Right? If it's multiple lifetimes, then we can gain a certain wisdom and understanding from that as well. But it's what's not useful is that we sit on the sidelines the whole life, just on the fence, just arguing for the sake of arguing about what's what. Better that we dive in and live life, whatever the underlying philosophy or understanding of the world is. What's important is that we live it, not that we're just sitting on the sidelines arguing about the fine print. But there are many people who are able to see, the souls, or to connect with the beyond, and there are different stages and planes and everything. And so I think it's definitely worth studying and understanding about that view of the world, for sure. Because the other one is also, the one time is like one time and then you go to hell, right? That's not a particularly entire, And because it's also like, if you belong to us, then maybe you can go to heaven kind of thing. That doesn't seem very trustworthy. So we have to investigate clearly, otherwise we're operating under false beliefs. This is also, important. It's not just about reincarnation or one lifetime, but if we're, they say that there's no continuity, right? We're seeing like in a movie, it's just frame by frame, then it moves very quickly, and so we see it like it's one thing. But actually life is the same, that it's not like one thing that's happening, it's just all these frames infinitely blinking and going. They're saying this isn't solid, that this isn't brown, this is every color but brown. So we've been told by the scientists a lot of what we take to be true is actually not true. And so if all of our, our whole system is operating based on those assumptions, for example, that the goal of life is over there, and that over there is going to be better than here and now. If I'm operating on that, then now, here and now becomes not good enough. Then I'm not good enough. And so now it's not important, because all that's important is that I get there. And so all my energy and attention is on getting there. And then here and now is like inferior, something like that. And so this is going to affect everything, our assumptions about the world. This is why in the yogis would encourage us to study about this and to challenge these basic assumptions about things like the illusion of control and continuity or permanence, impermanence, and this duality and non-duality. All of these things are useful, but they're only useful when lived, not as a philosophical investigation. It has to become part of a daily life. How can I handle the loud voice in my head? It talks and talks even if I don't want it to. Well, first thing is you have to listen and see what the voice is saying. And maybe you already know, but specifically what it's saying, take notes on it, whatever the themes are, specific topics, whatever it's saying. And then try to notice the tone, whose voice is it? Is it whose voice does it come from? Is it your voice? Is it an aspect of yourself? Is it someone in the past? Is it a projection? Try to investigate a little bit. And then you have to find a way. We all have this habit of really obsessing over our minds and our thoughts, and really taking it very seriously and making a big deal all the time. We get worked up very quickly, very easily over anything that we're thinking. But we know deep down that most of the time we're wrong, or we're under false beliefs or assumptions, and it's not really the truth, or it's only partially true. And so what we can do is, the same way that you learn to ignore, like you're in the library studying, there's someone annoying that's talking, or some spoiled child that's whining and complaining, you tune it out. You can do it. The TV's on and you tune it out. So you have to learn to tune out your own mind. Normally we don't want to do it. It's so important that we're completely fixated on that. It's the habit. So we have to cultivate the habit of ignore your mind. It doesn't matter. Completely ignore it. Ignore your mind. It seems counterintuitive, but actually a majority of the frustration comes with this constant obsession, because there's no right answer. There's no, like, life is not a perfect story waiting for you, something like that. It's wild and radical, and it's like, otherwise, all 8 billion people and all the frogs and all the ants and everyone has their own little perfect story. And it's clearly not like that. And so, this is why, if we can learn to ignore, because that's also not coming from the true self. So if you can learn to be in a deep state of centeredness with the smooth breath and one-pointed focus, then okay, at first it's coming, take notes, observe it. Then when you feel you've observed it, then ignore it. And practice for a few weeks. You ignore that. When you sit, you ignore it. And throughout the day, ignore it. And then you see if you can shift. There are other voices maybe, or there's the silence. And through the silence we can learn, we can see things really clearly. So we have to experiment. We have to experiment with and learn how to direct your attention. Most of the time, we're just getting pulled around by the thoughts and desires and the past and habits and the people around us and everything. And that's why we recommend, again, spending each day 30 minutes, not even a big commitment, for sure. Everyone has 30 minutes. That's 2%. 2% of 24 hours, 30 minutes. In 30 minutes, you can tune your body, heart, and mind. You feel light, you feel awake, you feel alive. And then you just live your life. You totally forget about it. You don't think about it. And then you do your thing. And then, if possible, in the evening, you can even do 1%, 15 minutes, 10 minutes even, 10 minutes. Sun salutation, once or twice, 1 minute breathing, 5 minutes stillness. And then you go to sleep, you wake up, it's first thing in the morning. Ideal is first thing in the morning. It's got to be at a fixed time. Otherwise, if you just feel like, oh, I want to do it sometime, but you don't have a plan, then it's very difficult. It's important to have a plan. I'm going to do this one, this, that, for this length of time, and then you just do it. Do it. The recommendation we're giving now is 100 days, 100-day challenge. 100 days every day. So pick something that you know you can do. And then just do it. If you pick up your tennis racket every day and hit the forehands and just hit them, or hit backhands, whatever you're hitting, for 100 days, 30 minutes a day, I guarantee you'll become much better, much more fluid, and not like mentally, but experientially. We're talking experiential. To be yourself. You can't think your way into yourself. No, there's no words for that. There's no description. Question. Someone told me that to reach the enlightenment, you have to break the rules of society. So abuse is the way to do that, and that's why that much gurus are involved in sex scandals. I wonder who has this person who said that? An abuser himself, a man? Because I don't see a woman saying that. When would we ever be able to stop being frightened by men? Women. When will women be able to stop being frightened by men? So at the nature of the spirit, there's no gender. At this deeper level of the soul, there's no female soul and male soul. So the enlightened sages are neither male or female. As you can see, like, my path is the Shakta, worship of Divine Mother. And so Amma Kunamai, Amma Mitanandamaima, many female sages. There are many, many female sages, not only male sages. Mostly in the West, we only know a little small portion of the thing. But I would say that now, since if we look at humans, first if we want to understand gender, we have to go back further into the different species, plants, and understand about the gender in plants and how the different plants have different genders interacting. Then the fish and the amphibians, then the mammals, and understand about this dance, this play, this fighting, this different patterns throughout the different species. Then we have the subset of human species. And the human species probably was very different, the gender dynamics going back a couple thousands of years ago. We have to look and understand. We need the context of where we're at now, how we've gotten here, what's going on. Enlightenment's a whole other story. We have sociology, we have enlightenment. These are kind of very different paths. We have we have the path of like the right and wrong and this and stuff, but this is a duality. Right? We have duality and non-duality. These are completely different tracks. We can't mix the two. You can't mix it all. Because in duality, there's two. Right? Good and bad. And there's observer and observed. Two separate things. I see you. But in non-duality, there's no two. So there's no comparison. There's nothing. There's nothing can be said. And so within duality, we have, this is the Dark Ages. We're in the midst of the Dark Ages right now. These Dark Ages have been going on for like thousands of years. But we're in the Dark Ages. This is not the Golden Age. Everything's very shiny and we can buy whatever we want and everyone's miserable. Everyone's lost. Everything is empty. And so it would seem that there's been an abuse of the genders, of nature also. There's Mother Nature. What this is also, with Mother Nature we consider, this is Mother, Divine Mother is the creation, is all of the plants and the nature. So also we've been very much abusing, even ourselves, we're abusing our bodies, the way of life. We're abusing everything. This is the time of abuse. This is a Kali Yuga. So everything, anything is weak. Also within the men, everyone's abusing everyone. And especially within the genders. So this is the one of the battles. We're on the battlefield here. We haven't come to Earth just to have a good time, but they consider this to be a place to grow and to learn. And so we've also all been born in different genders. We've been in the different genders at different times. And so now, also in society, gosh, everything's confused. And so this is we're in the midst of a big change. Some big change is coming. No. And so let's, really what we can do is we can work on ourselves. We can't take, we don't know other people, what are they doing, why they're doing, what's going on. So that's why we always recommend, instead of getting wrapped up in this story, the wars going on over here and there and all the bad things that are going somewhere else, like what about here and now? What's going on here and now? What can we do? How can we live? How can we be an agent of peace and to support those around us? You know, that this is more, because it's, I used to live for 3 years in the contemplative Quaker community. The Quaker are very interesting. They were very much involved in like living the testimony, not just talking about it, but how it is that we can, in our communities, through community and outreach, in our immediate vicinity, with our family as well. Like we want these things, but then with our own family, we have so much misunderstanding and anger. And so if our family, we have this, then how are we going to do in society with people that we don't know? We can't even treat ourselves properly. And so the yogis have come, it's a different track. This non-duality means that, I mean, in order to embrace this, you have to die. The I has to die, no I. You're not bringing your I with you into this enlightenment or something. The I means the story, the preferences, the individuality, all this stuff. So this is a death. That death, how are you going to die? I don't know. That you have to ask the yogis. We have, over the last 100 years, there are many great sages, and we have so many biographies, autobiographies, people who are with them day in and day out, 24 hours a day, so we can read and learn about that. What it seems is also all the politicians, right? Not just yogis. Let's say, what about the politicians? How are they doing? Are they honest? Are they lying and cheating and bribing and doing some of the biggest crimes in the world? Or the business people, what about them? How are they doing? Let's give a score. How is the abuse going in the business or in that, wherever it is? So it would seem that this is across everything in this modern time is this what they call Kali Yuga. It's a bad time, but it's a good time. It's a bad time in the sense that there's a lot of tension and upheaval, but this is a big wave of life that's coming. So, Kali Yuga. Question. How do you hold on to the feeling and learning from here in the outside world? Yeah, good question. So don't hold on. You have to let it go. You have to let it flow. You have to embody it. You have to digest it fully. It has to be so fully, programmed into your cells that there's no question of holding on to anything because it's part of you. When you eat the food, it becomes part of you. So you don't have to hold on. So when you imbibe that love, that connection, that openness, then it becomes you. But in order for that, it requires a training, right? Like a sports player, right? You have to train repetitively again and again, and then it becomes natural. It becomes like a muscle memory. And so this is the key, that we have to make this presence to be present, to be centered, to be stable, to be relaxed. We have to train that becomes the baseline. That becomes a habit. The same like a sports player can do. You see some sports players totally lazy, and they're like slouching and just dragging this, and you see some that are fully embodied. Same with musicians. Same with at everything. And so how do you achieve that? It's through training. You have to make it a habit. You make this your habit, then you take it with you wherever you go. So that's the key, is to make it a habit. Then there's no question. You can't leave it. Even you try to leave it, you can't leave it. Okay, 1. I am not my ego, not my thoughts. I can practice stillness to find out what are my true self. If I drop all my stories, all my ideas of future, stay present, I am able to feel my true self. In my head, it has to feel like everything. The feeling of being part of God. I am God. But why I choose to come earth with this body, I have this face, this energy print, in my family, country, language, my field to grow. If it at the end does not matter where I come from, which experiences I've made, my thoughts, past, we should drop all of it to find out the true self. But why I choose before? What's the point of this? So what they're saying is that through all of these births, we have our particular winding, our particular binding. And so in order to unwind, we take the births for that purpose under certain conditions, sometimes favorable, sometimes unfavorable. Right? But both are beneficial. The yogis all say through the suffering itself is grace, because only through suffering are we really able to release this deep level of tension. And so throughout life, we have different periods and different phases. We're born in a family that comes from a certain country or socioeconomic background. We have these bodies and the different challenges with growing and coming into ourselves, etc. But all of this is perfectly tuned for what it is that we need. Not only each individual, but all of life. Right? All of the different species, everyone gets what they need, something like that. Because it's not a bunch of separate things happening, right? From duality, it looks like, oh, there's all these people, and but from the non-dual point of view, there's just one thing. There's like one thing that's morphing into all these shapes. Like you have gold. You have a gold ring, a gold pen, a gold coin, a gold watch. You see many different things. These are different objects, but actually it's one thing, it's gold. As gold is taking different shapes. The gold takes that shape, you call a pen. The gold takes that shape, you call glasses. But the glasses don't exist. Glasses is a temporary function of the gold. The coin is a temporary function. In the same way, that the gold is the prana, is that one essence of life, takes all these shapes, and then it again dissolves. The body decomposes, all the molecules bounce around, they go their way. So everything is a dance of molecules. Like a tree has many leaves, but the leaves aren't separate. We're just like the leaves, like one big tree, lots of leaves, but we feel the separation. So actually there's no separation. And so we experience that every night in sleep, deep sleep state. Merging back into the source. But we're here, we have to play our parts. We don't know exactly why. We can't say why. What is it exactly? Can't say. But we find ourselves here on the stage, so time to play our parts. And this is what they mean by dharma. Dharma. We have karma and dharma. Dharma is you play a part. Faithfully, lovingly, with surrender. This is the challenge, to accept. It's difficult to accept. That's why we need to do the training. When you're in shape, I always say this example. Your friends on the weekend invite you to go to the park. And so you go out to the park, and it's a beautiful day, and they're going to play a game of football or a game of ultimate frisbee. And so you're a little bit out of shape, but you jump on the field, and within a few seconds you start like wheezing and coughing, and you feel like you're going to die. You know, you're out of breath, you have cramps, and you feel miserable, like you're being tortured. Everyone else is running around and smiling and having a good time. What's the difference? No? The game is the same. Only difference is one person out of shape, the other's in shape. So when you're out of shape, life is torture. Life is like a struggle, a battle. But when you're in shape, the same thing becomes like a dance, a celebration. It's the same. So the question is that in shape or out of shape? This we have to take responsibility for. Like the sports player, if you're never practicing and training, very difficult to play well. Maybe you can pull it off every now and then. But if you have a daily practice, a simple practice, you train, you stay in shape, you warm up, then instead it's like it's a joy. And you make many discoveries. Each time you play, you're learning. And so this is why we stress the importance of maintaining a daily practice, cleaning, like you wash your clothes. So clean your heart and mind. Everybody washes their clothes every day. Actually, we usually pay people to do it. Nobody washes their clothes. But in places like India or Cambodia, still people wash their clothes. Then we brush our teeth. We wash our skin. So already we know, okay, it's good, that's part of a hygiene. But what's more important? How clean your clothes or how clean your heart is? In terms of the effect you're having on the people around you and on yourself, on the world. For sure. Our hearts, our minds, we clean our mind, more important than cleaning our clothes. We wouldn't walk around with the cuts and wounds and oozing and like this, like a leprosy. Nobody would do that. But we're doing that with our hearts and minds. We're walking around like a bloody, oozy mess. But we think, oh, nobody can see it. I can't see. No, that's not true. Those with a subtle vision can see it. We can see because it's affecting the body language and the energy system, everything. So those who can see. But we have to take responsibility. We have to take it seriously. This isn't just like a hobby for rich people. We're talking about cleaning your heart and mind. You know, people now so much, they're whitening their teeth and everything in their teeth. The teeth is superficial. Of course, teeth is important. Nothing against teeth. But the teeth is superficial. The clothes are superficial. What about the core? We have to dedicate a little bit of time to clean, to awaken, to nourish, to nurture, to honor. It's a form of respect. If someone gave you a garden and said, this is for you to take care of, do what you will, what will you do with that garden? How will you take care of the garden? Right? So your body is a garden. Your heart is a garden. Your mind is a garden. Peace. No, you are your greatest work of creation. You are the creation. You are your life's masterpiece. And that is here and now. It's not the awards and trophies in the past. Last question. I find myself living in my head, be it reliving past memories or making up false realities of the future. How do I let go of the need to control what's going to happen to me in the next few months or years, especially with romantic relationships? The good news is that this is just a habit. So we don't have to worry about that habit. Instead, just focus on training the habit of being present. No, don't worry, all this is going on. But instead, it's not about fixing the problem, it's about training yourself to be present. And the peace and joy that comes from presence, you can't get that through winning or getting something expensive or getting we're trying to get this, to achieve some happiness or something through success or achievement, but it just brings us more and more and lack. It's not enough. So the quality of aliveness and creativity and peace that you feel from being present is going to, that itself will become addictive. You become addicted to that, to being alive, to being present. And you see that then life flows so much easier. Right? It's not like, because otherwise now I want to try to control the control. You see? It's very tricky. It's control, and now I'm going to control the control. It's more control. So if you can't get there that way. Instead, you drop everything, forget yourself, straighten your spine, breathe, be still, and then repeat again and again each day. And then slowly that control falls away by itself. You don't even one day, you're not even thinking about it. It goes like that. It can't be by thinking about our problems, really all we're doing is watering them and nourishing the weeds. So we don't need to focus on what we don't want. Instead, focus on what we do want, which is this presence. And then through that presence, you have like deep roots, like a tree that's rooted deeply. Then a little tree, anything can knock it over. When the little tree is just a sapling, then even a small little like chipmunk or squirrel can knock it over. Anything can step on it, wouldn't know. Right? But when the tree grows and it has the roots, then you can tie an elephant to the tree and the tree won't move. Nothing. The wind, the flood will come, nothing can disturb the tree. So we need to grow deep roots in our nervous system, in what I was talking, this prana field, this breath field around us. We need to clean and smooth that out. When that's clean and smooth and the roots are deep, then automatically we're coming from our place of power. When we're coming from our place of power, then very easy. Automatically we know what to do. We don't have to think about it. But when we're disconnected from our power and from our heart, then all the time it's like needy and others and control and fear and everything. So it has to do with the nervous system and the breath rhythm and the habitual pattern, habitual rhythm. That's why I say just train this rhythm of establish the peace, smooth breath, straight spine, focused mind. Then you get the best from every situation. When it's time to learn, you learn. When it's time to play, you play. When it's time to work, you work. When it's time to love, you love. When it's time to be angry, you get angry. It's okay, but you don't get stuck. Problem is getting stuck. So that's why we have the daily practice. Otherwise, we get this stagnation. We're eating too much, we're talking too much, we're thinking too much, like this. So we have to release that, release it, let it. Yeah, the personal practice, the daily practice is tuning. It's like tuning practice is itself is a relationship, romantic relationship with oneself or with God or with life, whatever we call. When we do our practice each day, at home, yoga was never meant to be done in a room with everybody at once looking at each other, comparing, and in the mirror and so on, and like this. Never is like that. Because it's very intimate. It's like when you brush your teeth. It's like making love. You do, it's very sacred. And you take that time. It's a time to be totally with yourself, in your rhythm, not in someone else's rhythm. So in the class, it's always like, oh my God, what's next? Go, again. Keeping up. Oh, look, I did it. Look at me, I did it. Right? This kind of approach is not gonna, this trying hard and difficult and proving that I can do it, that's not gonna help you be yourself. No? So instead, when you can slow down and breathe and feel and let the emotions or thoughts come up, take notes, come back to the stillness, dissolve your mind. Then your next posture, and it's challenging you, but you don't react. And then in the stillness, you feel this wave of power and peace. Like this. This is what we're training. And so, it's a way of life. It's a kind of taking responsibility. We take responsibility to clean ourselves, to present ourselves nicely. But it's not enough. If we don't clean our minds and hearts and our body, means our organs and cells and intestines and breath, all this. If we don't clean it daily, we're asking for trouble. The same if you never clean your teeth and your clothes. You never wash your sheets. Imagine you want to get into your bed all dirty sheets, months of dirt and food scraps and everything. You'll never feel at home. In the same way, you don't clean your mind, you don't clean your heart, how are you going to feel at home inside? You won't feel at home. Instead, you escape. You distract yourself with the different things. Thinking also is a kind of distraction. So there's a deeper knowing. Presence is like a deep knowing. Thinking is like someone blind, like grasping, groping for something. What is it? Give me something, this, that. So thinking is useful for organizing things, but not for knowing. Thinking is not useful for knowing. Thinking is not useful for peace. Thinking is not useful for love. Thinking is not useful for happiness. So the deeper knowing is in the heart. Buddhi. Panya. Enough talking. Let's take a moment to be quiet. Sit up tall. Ready position. Like the serve, you're waiting for the serve in tennis. You don't want to get hit by the ball. Right? But now in life, the ball's coming from every direction at once. Every direction. So find your center. Relax your shoulders, your heart. Relax your mind, relax your breath. The goal is here and now. You're already yourself. You've always been yourself. You can't be the story. You'll never be the story. So simply be quiet and be who you are. Without any justification or explanation. No need. You can't know it. You can't know who you are. So all you can is to be who you are. You can only be who you are when you're not thinking about yourself. So just be still, just be quiet. Don't call it meditation. Then it becomes a scary, like a big dragon. Oh my God, meditation dragon. Just be quiet. Okay, I'm going to be quiet. I'm going to be still, I'm going to be quiet. So quiet that you forget yourself. Just for a second. You don't have to hold on. Just be quiet, so quiet. You forget the problems. You forget Donald Trump, you forget the everything, just for a moment, you forget everything, the whole world. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti.